Windows Defender just started deleting legitimate software from millions of computers, without warning, without user permission, just gone. And when users tried to restore their files, Defender blocked them again. This isn't a minor glitch. This is Microsoft's security software declaring war on the software ecosystem, flagging trusted applications as malware, quarantining files people need for work, and creating chaos across enterprise networks worldwide. The scale is staggering. Over 8.5 million false positive detections in 72 hours. Software from Adobe, Autodesk, even Microsoft's own programs got flagged. Businesses lost access to critical applications. Developers watched their software get mass reported as malicious. And Microsoft's response? Radio silence for 36 hours while the damage spread. If this sounds like incompetence, wait until you see the internal metrics. Because what's really happening is Windows Defender's AI detection system is spiraling out of control, and Microsoft can't rein it in without admitting their entire approach to security is fundamentally broken. The crisis began quietly on a Tuesday morning in March 2024. System administrators across North America started getting tickets. Users reporting their software won't launch. Applications disappeared from program files. Antivirus alerts claiming legitimate tools are Trojans. At first, IT departments thought it was isolated incidents. Maybe users downloaded something sketchy. Standard procedure. Check the quarantine. Restore if it's a false positive. Move on. But the tickets kept coming. Dozens, then hundreds, all reporting the same thing. Windows Defender flagging and removing software that was verified, trusted, and in some cases had been installed for years without issues. Mark Richardson runs IT for a mid-sized architecture firm in Seattle. 140 employees, all using Autodesk Revit for building design. Tuesday morning, 9:15 a.m., his phone explodes with calls. Nobody can open Revit. He remote connects to a user's machine and checks. Windows Defender quarantined Revit.exe, flagged it as Whack-Attack Trojan. This is Autodesk Revit, a $2,800 per year legitimate professional software used by millions of architects worldwide. He checks the quarantine logs. Defender removed it at 9:03 a.m. during a definition update. Microsoft pushed a bad security definition that misidentified Revit as malware, and now 140 workstations can't do their jobs. Mark tries to restore Revit from quarantine. Defender blocks it immediately, deletes it again. He tries adding an exclusion. Defender ignores the exclusion and quarantines it anyway. He tries disabling real-time protection. Group policy won't let him because corporate security requires it enabled. He's locked in a loop. Microsoft's security software broke his business-critical application, and Microsoft's security software won't let him fix it. His firm lost $43,000 in billable hours that day, waiting for Microsoft to release a corrected definition update. $43,000 because Windows Defender decided legitimate software was malware. And it wasn't just Autodesk. Reports flooded in from all over. Adobe Photoshop flagged, SolidWorks flagged, Visual Studio flagged. Even Microsoft Teams got flagged on some systems. Microsoft's own collaboration software detected as malware by Microsoft's own security software. The absurdity was off the charts. Here's what actually happened. Windows Defender uses machine learning models to detect malware. The AI analyzes file behavior, code patterns, and execution characteristics to identify threats without needing exact signature matches. This lets it catch new malware that traditional antivirus would miss. But machine learning models are only as good as their training data. Feed them bad data, they make bad decisions. And Microsoft's training data pipeline got contaminated. Security researcher Maria Gonzalez reverse-engineered the March definition update. She found the machine learning model flagged any executable with specific compiler optimizations as suspicious. Optimizations that legitimate software uses to run faster. The model interpreted efficiency as obfuscation, a common malware technique. But optimizing code isn't malicious, it's standard practice. Every professional software developer optimizes their code. Microsoft's AI couldn't tell the difference between a developer making software run efficiently and a hacker trying to hide malicious code. Maria published her findings. The model was undertrained on legitimate software samples. Microsoft fed it thousands of malware examples but comparatively few clean software examples. The imbalance made it hypersensitive. It learned malware patterns well, but never learned what normal software looks like. Classic machine learning failure. Garbage in, garbage out. Microsoft deployed an AI that didn't understand the difference between Photoshop and a Trojan because they never taught it properly. Microsoft finally acknowledged the issue 36 hours later. Their statement: "We're aware of an issue causing Windows Defender to incorrectly flag certain applications. We've released an updated definition. Affected users should update their definitions and restore files from quarantine." That's it. No apology, no explanation of how it happened, no compensation for businesses that lost days of productivity. But this wasn't the first time. August 2023, Defender flagged Chromium-based browsers. January 2024, Defender flagged Intel driver utilities. March 2024, the Autodesk and Adobe incident. May 2024, Defender flagged Python interpreters. This is a pattern. Every few months, Defender has a meltdown and attacks legitimate software. And every time, Microsoft's response is the same: acknowledge it late, patch it quietly, provide no accountability. Jennifer Koh is a freelance video editor in Toronto. She uses DaVinci Resolve for client projects. May 2024, she's finishing a corporate video due that afternoon. She renders the final export, Windows Defender pops up, threat detected, DaVinci Resolve removed. The application she's been using for 6 months suddenly flagged. Her project files are fine, but the software to open them is gone. She checks online, finds hundreds of users reporting the same issue. She tries to restore it. Defender quarantines it again instantly. She tries disabling Defender. Windows 11. Home won't let her disable it permanently. It turns back on automatically. Her deadline is 4 hours away. She can't finish the project because Microsoft's security software decided her editing software is malware. She misses the deadline. The client cancels the contract. She loses $3,200 in income because Windows Defender had a bad day. She calls Microsoft support. They tell her to wait for a definition update. No ETA. Could be hours. Could be days. She can't wait. She downloads the installer again, tries to reinstall. Defender blocks the installer too. She's completely locked out. Her solution: borrow a friend's Mac. Install DaVinci Resolve there. Transfer her project files. Finish the work 2 days late. She lost the client, but completed the project for portfolio purposes. And she's never using Windows for professional work again. She bought a MacBook Pro the next week. Microsoft lost a customer because their security software is uncontrollable. While individual users struggled, enterprises faced catastrophic disruptions. Hospitals, banks, law firms running Windows Defender across thousands of machines. When a bad definition hits, it hits everywhere simultaneously. St. Michael's Hospital in Boston runs 1,200 workstations for patient records, imaging systems, and administrative software. Thursday morning, June 2024, nurses can't access the patient management system. The software is flagged and quarantined. Lab technicians can't open diagnostic imaging tools. Also flagged. The pharmacy system is down. Flagged. IT Director Paul Mendez gets the emergency call. He checks the logs. Windows Defender quarantined software across 900 machines in 14 minutes. The software: Meditech, the hospital's patient management platform, a system used by over 2,300 hospitals worldwide. Established, trusted, certified medical software. And Windows Defender decided it's a Trojan. Patient care is now delayed. Doctors can't pull up medical histories. Nurses can't check medication schedules. The hospital is functionally offline for digital records. They revert to paper charts, a system they haven't used primarily in 15 years. Paul tries everything. Restoring from quarantine fails. Exclusions don't work. Disabling Defender via group policy works, but it takes 40 minutes to push the policy update to all machines, during which time patients are waiting and staff is panicking. Once Defender is disabled, he restores Meditech, and systems come back online. Total downtime, 3 hours and 12 minutes. In a hospital, 3 hours of system downtime isn't an inconvenience. It's dangerous. Patient safety is compromised when medical records aren't accessible. Paul files a complaint with Microsoft. Their response: "We've corrected the issue. Please re-enable Defender and update definitions." No acknowledgement of the severity. No offer of support. No process to prevent it from happening again. Paul doesn't trust them. He's evaluating third-party antivirus solutions now. Windows Defender is too unreliable for a healthcare environment. And here's what makes this truly insane. Microsoft has telemetry data from millions of machines. They know what software is installed. Before pushing a definition update, they could cross-reference detections against their telemetry. If a new definition suddenly flags software installed on 10 million machines, that's obviously a false positive. But Microsoft doesn't do that check. They push updates without validating them against real-world deployments. It's reckless. Security analyst Robert Zhang reviewed Microsoft's update process. He found they test definitions in internal labs with limited software sets. They don't simulate the diversity of real user environments. So a definition might work fine in the lab, where they test against 500 common applications, but fail catastrophically in the real world, where users run 50,000 different applications. The testing is inadequate. They're deploying updates that affect hundreds of millions of machines without comprehensive validation. Robert published his findings. Microsoft's response: they increased lab testing from 500 to 1,200 common applications. That's still a fraction of software in use. It's a token improvement that doesn't address the fundamental problem. They're not testing at scale. They're hoping their limited tests catch everything. And when they don't, users pay the price. Independent software developers got hit hardest. When Windows Defender flags your software as malware, users think your software is malicious. Your reputation is destroyed instantly. Downloads plummet, refund requests spike, and there's nothing you can do because you didn't do anything wrong. Microsoft's broken AI made a mistake, but you're the one who suffers. Thomas Brennan develops Quick Launch Pro, a Windows productivity tool. Legitimate software sold through the Microsoft Store. July 2024, he wakes up to 340 emails, all from users saying Windows Defender flagged Quick Launch Pro and removed it. He checks the Microsoft Store. His app has 89 new one-star reviews. This is malware. Windows detected it as a virus. His rating drops from 4.7 stars to 2.1 stars overnight. Thomas didn't change anything. His software is the same code that's been running safely for 2 years, but Windows Defender's latest update flagged it. He checks the detection name, Generic Behavior Detection. Defender thinks his automation features look suspicious. Automating tasks is the entire point of his software. That's not malicious, that's the feature set. Thomas submits a false positive report to Microsoft. The process requires filling out forms, uploading samples, and waiting for review. Microsoft's documentation says reviews take 24 to 48 hours. Thomas waits. 48 hours pass. No response. He emails support. Automated reply. After 6 days, Microsoft replies, "We've reviewed your submission and updated our definitions." 6 days. His revenue for that week, $340. His average weekly revenue before, $4,800. He lost $4,160 because Microsoft took 6 days to fix their mistake. Even after Microsoft cleared his software, the damage was permanent. The one-star reviews stayed. Users who uninstalled don't come back. His app's reputation is ruined. Thomas spent 2 years building Quick Launch Pro. Windows Defender destroyed it in 6 days. He's shutting down the Windows version and rebuilding for Mac and Linux. Microsoft didn't just lose a developer, they validated his decision to leave. This is happening across the developer community. Forums are filled with developers sharing stories of false positives destroying their businesses. Some gave up entirely. Others moved to platforms where security software doesn't randomly attack their work. Fewer developers building for Windows means fewer applications. Fewer applications mean less reason for users to stay on Windows. It's a death spiral. The core issue is Microsoft's reliance on AI for threat detection. Traditional antivirus used signatures, exact matches of known malware code. Simple, reliable, but couldn't catch new threats. AI-based detection analyzes behavior and patterns, catching new malware without needing signatures. Sounds better. Except AI makes mistakes, and when those mistakes happen at the scale of Windows Defender running on over 1 billion devices, the mistakes are catastrophic. Dr. Alan Foster, cybersecurity professor at MIT, studied machine learning security models for 15 years. His assessment of Windows Defender's AI: it's undertrained, overconfident, and deployed without adequate safeguards. Microsoft prioritized speed over accuracy. They wanted to catch zero-day threats faster than competitors, so they made the model aggressive. The result is high detection rates, but also high false positive rates. Dr. Foster tested Defender's AI with 1,000 clean applications and 1,000 malware samples. Defender caught 97% of malware. Impressive. But it also flagged 14% of clean applications. That's 140 false positives out of 1,000. In a real-world scenario, with millions of applications, that's millions of false positives. And here's the terrifying part. Microsoft's AI updates automatically. Definition updates deploy without user intervention. If a bad model gets pushed, it affects everyone instantly. There's no staged rollout, no gradual deployment, just instant global deployment. One bad update, 1 billion affected machines. Dr. Foster's recommendation: staged rollouts, real-time telemetry validation, and user override options. Deploy updates to 1% of users first. Monitor telemetry for unusual detection spikes. If detections jump 500%, halt the rollout and investigate. These are standard practices in enterprise software deployment, but Microsoft doesn't do them with Defender updates. When asked why, Dr. Foster's answer is chilling: because it would slow them down. Microsoft is competing with other security vendors. They want to be first to detect new threats. Staged rollouts take time. Validation takes time. Microsoft chose speed and control over reliability. They're willing to accept false positives as collateral damage. You can't opt out. Windows Defender is integrated into Windows 11 at the OS level. You can't uninstall it. You can't fully disable it. Even if you install third-party antivirus, Defender stays active in the background. Microsoft calls it layered security. Users call it forced bloatware. Angela Martinez is a software developer in Austin. She installed Bitdefender, a third-party antivirus she trusts. She assumed Defender would disable itself like in Windows 10. It didn't. Both run simultaneously, both scanning files, both using resources. She checks Task Manager. Defender's processes are using 8% CPU and 600 MB RAM constantly. She's paying for Bitdefender, but Defender still runs. She tries disabling Defender permanently. Windows 11 won't let her. The option is grayed out. She edits group policy. Defender turns back on after reboot. She edits the registry. Defender overrides it with a system update. Every method to disable Defender, Microsoft has blocked. She's forced to run 2 antivirus programs whether she wants to or not. She's switching to Linux. Microsoft lost another developer. And here's the insidious part. Defender uploads file hashes and metadata to Microsoft's cloud for analysis. Every file on your system is potentially being fingerprinted and sent to Microsoft. They claim it's anonymized, but researchers found the data includes file paths, execution history, and system identifiers. Your private files are being analyzed by Microsoft's servers without explicit consent. Privacy advocate Helen Carter analyzed Defender's telemetry. She found it uploads data even when cloud-based protection is disabled in settings. The toggle doesn't actually stop the uploads. There's no option for zero uploads. You either accept some telemetry or accept more telemetry. No third option. Helen published her findings. Microsoft's response: telemetry helps improve Defender's accuracy. Users can manage their privacy settings in Windows Security. Except the privacy settings don't actually stop the telemetry. It's a placebo. Microsoft is collecting data regardless of user preferences. What's really happening is trust collapse. Users trusted Windows Defender to protect them without causing problems. That trust is gone. Businesses trusted Microsoft to test updates before deployment. That trust is gone. Developers trusted Windows as a stable platform. That trust is gone. Once trust is lost, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. Microsoft can fix the technical issues. They can improve the AI training. But they can't undelete the files they removed. They can't undestroy the businesses they disrupted. They can't undo the fear that any Tuesday morning, Defender might decide your critical software is malware. Marcus Lee is an IT consultant advising small businesses. He used to recommend Windows for all clients. After the Defender incidents, he stopped. Now he suggests Mac for creative businesses and Linux for technical businesses. Windows only if the client has software that absolutely requires it. And even then, he recommends third-party antivirus and configurations to neuter Defender as much as possible. Marcus explains, "I can't trust Windows Defender anymore. I've had 3 clients suffer major disruptions from false positives. One lost a contract, another had payroll software quarantined on payday. These aren't acceptable risks. Microsoft created this situation. They're losing business customers because IT professionals like me no longer trust their platform." Inside Microsoft, there's panic. Windows Defender's false positive problem is escalating. Each incident damages Windows' reputation. Leadership knows it, but they're trapped. Admitting the AI is broken means admitting their entire security strategy is flawed. Rolling back to signature-based detection means falling behind competitors. Leaked internal emails from June 2024 show Microsoft's security team arguing over solutions. One faction wants to reduce the AI's sensitivity, accepting lower detection rates for fewer false positives. Another wants to increase human review, slowing deployments but improving accuracy. Leadership rejected both. Lower detection rates would hurt marketing. Human review would slow response times. So the decision: keep the aggressive AI, improve training data quality, implement better telemetry validation. The problem: improving training data takes time. They've been trying for 8 months. False positives still happen monthly. One leaked email from a senior engineer: "We're in a death spiral. Every false positive erodes trust. Every delay in fixing false positives erodes trust further. We need fundamental redesign of the detection pipeline, but leadership won't approve it because it would take 18 months and require admitting the current system is broken. So we're putting band-aids on a gunshot wound and hoping it holds." It won't. That email, dated July 14, 2024, predicted more major incidents. August 2024, Defender flagged tax software during tax season. September 2024, Defender flagged VPN clients used by remote workers. The engineer was right. The band-aids aren't holding. The damage extends beyond immediate false positives. Software developers are changing how they write code to avoid triggering Defender, avoiding certain compiler optimizations, avoiding certain API calls. Not because those techniques are bad, but because Defender's AI misinterprets them. Developers are compromising software quality to appease a broken AI. Developer Nathan Wu builds system utilities. He uses code obfuscation to protect intellectual property. His software got flagged repeatedly. He removed obfuscation, still flagged. He changed compilers, still flagged. Microsoft told him his software's behavior is too similar to malware's. His software monitors system processes, a feature users want. But Defender sees it as suspicious. Nathan's choice: fundamentally change his software to make it less capable, or accept that Defender will keep flagging it. He chose option 3, stop developing for Windows. His next project is Mac and Linux only. Windows users lose access to his tools because Microsoft's AI can't distinguish between legitimate functionality and malicious behavior. While Microsoft struggles, Alternatives are thriving. Mac shipments to enterprises up 52% year over year. Linux desktop usage hit 5.4%, the highest ever recorded. Users and businesses are fleeing Windows, and they're finding the alternatives are better than expected. Samantha Green runs a graphic design studio in Denver. She used Windows for 18 years. October 2024, Defender flagged Adobe Illustrator. Her team couldn't work. She spent 4 hours troubleshooting. Adobe said wait for Microsoft to fix it. She borrowed a Mac, installed Illustrator there, finished the project. The Mac experience shocked her. Faster, smoother, no random security software deleting tools. She bought MacBook Pros for her team. 7 machines, $21,000. Microsoft lost that business permanently. The trajectory is clear. Windows market share is declining. Desktop Linux is growing. Mac is gaining enterprise ground. And every false positive from Defender pushes more users over the edge. Microsoft built Windows Defender to protect their ecosystem. Instead, it's destroying it from within. The AI is out of control. The trust is gone. And Microsoft's refusal to admit the problem means it will keep getting worse. This isn't just a security software failure. This is the beginning of Windows losing its dominance, one deleted file at a time.